Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
You deserve to feel better today. At Harper Clinic, patients report sleeping deeper, thinking clearer, and feeling stronger. Because mental health care is more than emotions. It's about your whole body. Work to lower your blood pressure, even boost your immune system. Get help to manage stress, focus, and reconnect. If you're facing anxiety, depression, or just feeling stuck, call Harper Clinic, 801-306-2345, 801-306-2345 to start feeling better.
Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself, I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5. The KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody. Welcome on in. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Hopefully you had a better weekend than John Shire. Hopefully you had a better weekend than the other boozer.
Yeah.
The good boozer showed up. He had a good pass. That's terrible. Those poor kids, man. But at the expense of those kids' feelings and John Shire's feelings and Duke getting eliminated in historically meltdownable fashion like they did last year against Houston, and they did the same thing yesterday, at the expense of those people's feelings, we finally got a decent game in the NCAA tournament. The Elite Eight was total garbage till then.
We will remember that shot for a long,
Thank heavens.
long time.
It became an iconic moment, and this tournament needed iconic moments. You had the one finish with the Kentucky, bank in from half court to get them to overtime against Santa Clara.
It got them to overtime. It's not one of those.
Right. And it was in the round of what? No, it was round of 64.
It was the first game
right.
of this tournament.
And so it wasn't
7-10 matchup. Yeah.
So, you had that, but Duke, condolences. And UConn and Danny Hurley couldn't have happened to a more humble guy.
I think there's probably about 95% of listeners right now that agree and have tried them, and they're delicious, is Duke Tears.
Oh, yeah. No, see, that's the thing.
Everybody loves to drink
Scotty
Duke Tears.
Scotty had the retweet of the day yesterday.
So refreshing.
Where you had the Duke fans with the Duke hat melting into, as Homer Simpson melting into the hedge.
Yes.
And then reemerging with their Luka Doncic Lakers jersey and a Yankees cap.
Oh, my gosh.
Because that is to me, it was not just Duke. Notre Dame is in that camp, right?
Yeah.
Where you just had people who were, oh, yeah, I've always been a fan. Come on, get over yourself. So Duke falls in historic fashion, but overall, JJ, you had a 30-plus point loss in a regional final. You don't see that very often. In fact, the last time it happened was like in 1992. And
there's been more 30-point blowouts in this tournament than any tournament previous.
Right, and you had a 15-point game in one of the other ones, a 12-point game. You had double digits in every regional final. That's awful for the game. It was such bad basketball. When you're watching Michigan up 30, you were like, I immediately went, wow, this is worthless. This is a worthless game to watch. I'm not watching any more of this. All right, so
I think there's two teams that are better than everybody else.
And they're playing each other. And unfortunately, they're playing each other in the semifinals,
which is lending itself to a discussion that people will have about reseeding the Final Four, and we'll see how that all plays out. Illinois can blow up that narrative. I think Illinois is really, really good. They've got a lottery pick on that team in Wagler. They've got some great players. Peja Stojakovic's son is a sniper. Kid can shoot and play really well. And
shocker.
They've got size. Like, Illinois is big.
Okay. Well, let's start the show off. We got to get into
Not many teams can bully Houston, and they did.
I had this discussion with Napolis, and it sounds like a duh. It sounds like a yeah, duh. Of course, score more points than the other team, and you'll also score more points than the other team, and you'll also
win
those games.
Yeah.
But I want to get into this because I have a thought on what I learned about this tournament and the local teams that are here that are hoping to get deeper into the tournament or to get there at all. So let's kick off the program right here. We got the cut. Let's jump right in here.
It's time for the biggest. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Everything's right with the world. My 5-year-old daughter is leading our family pool, our family bracket.
As it should be.
Yeah. That's good. You know what? The part of me that I like about it is she's beating my oldest son who takes it so freaking seriously. That's the part that I love. Check the brackets. He's like, don't. And when you see a little 5-year-old Maeve up there, you go, oh, yeah, she's winning. She doesn't even know about it. Part of the thing is because we mom and dad chip in $50 to the winner of the pool. Just if you win the family bracket, you get $50. And that's more important to the 17-year-old than it is to the 5-year-old. But I'll tell you, it makes for fun watching these games as well. I just had this thought over the weekend, and we talked about it a little bit. Texas's size was a problem for BYU. Every one of these teams that's doing anything in the tournament is massive. JJ, they're huge.
Yeah, that's the trend.
If you're going to recruit phenomenal guys and you have the money to do it, make your entire team the biggest in the Big 12. Alex Jensen, make your team the absolute trees up there. Being big at all the positions is a problem for all the other opponents. Get size, and absolutely recruit it. Bring them from another team. If you don't have a 7-footer on the roster that's any good, you better get him. In fact, you might need to get 2. You might need to get you're going to have. And part of the reason that A.J. DeBonce is so amazing is he's huge for a shooting guard in college.
He's like 6'9",
6'9" wing,
2 guard,
and he's phenomenal. And that type of size is a mismatch for anybody. On top of the fact that he's generational athleticism, right?
Yeah.
So, freaking go out and just get big. All right. Don't get that 7'9" kid from Florida and at the expense of not having any good play from him. Don't do that. Give me the big guy who has that potential in those 4 or 5 stars next to him. Pay to get that guy in at your school. Utah will immediately turn everything around if they get bigger than everybody else. They'll immediately start to get good. You want to get those big names. BYU, I think we all know, they were so small on the inside. How many times did they have to get out-rebounded on the offensive side?
It was a problem all season long.
Yes. So you watch all these teams that are going on still, and they're massive. Get big, basketball teams. Come on. Anyway, again, that's the easiest observation of the day, but it just made it was made so much more clear this weekend.
No, we see trends happen all the time. You see it in the NBA where everything went to what the Warriors were doing with positionless basketball and shooting the leather off the ball from the three-point line, and you're starting to see some things. It's going to be interesting to see how things come back with the NBA right now with Jokic and the way that the Nuggets play the game, and then the Thunder now seem like the dominant team. How are the Spurs going to play the game of basketball because they've got Wembanyama and the gravity that he has where he can shoot from 3 at a high clip and he pulls the bigs out. Like there's different things and trends that'll figure themselves out. It feels like I'm not sure exactly where that is going with the NBA, but definitely in college basketball, size is making a difference. And you look at that. You mentioned the size on the court. UConn. Now, did UConn have the most talent? I don't think they did.
No. Nope.
They had the better team, but they also had size. Look at some of the guys on the team. Terrace Reed Jr., 6'11". You keep going through some of the guys. Braylon Mullins, who made that shot, is 6'6". I mean, that's a guard. That's good size in the backcourt, right?
Yeah.
So you start looking around at some of those guys in that lineup, and they were big guys. Alex Karaban's a big guy. Alex Karaban is 6'8" on the wing. Silas Demery at guard is 6'4". That's a 6'4" guard. Solo Ball, 6'4" guard, 200. These are dudes like the Stephon Castle mold, right?
Yeah.
They go out and they get dudes. They don't have a bunch of small guys out there. So you got to be big and you got to be strong. You got to own the paint. You got to protect the rim. And if you have a little bit of shooting, then even better. But that's kind of the trend with college basketball right now. And all the teams that are still left, I mean, we talked about it with Arizona. When BYU played Arizona, when Utah State played Arizona, what was the difference? Size and depth. Size and depth. Size does matter.
Yep.
You need shooters, but size still matters.
How big's Carson?
At the highest level.
How big's Carson Templin?
6'9".
I remember you were telling me
he didn't look 6'9" against Arizona, did he?
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, he played his butt off, right? You
yeah,
can
he
do
did,
that.
Of course.
Keba Keita on certain occasions for BYU at 6'9"ish, also 6'9.5" himself. But if that's your 5, it's hard to hang your hat on that, especially when he wasn't having the most phenomenal year. There's injuries on top of it. You just have to get big.
UConn had a 7-footer come off the bench.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Eric Reeby came off the bench. So you need size. Look at Arizona's lineup. My goodness, they're just big.
Massive. And so that's what you learned. That's what I learned from it. You have to figure out.
Shocker in basketball, but there was a little bit of a trend where you went more athletic, but it's really coming back to size really dictating your success.
What do we get so excited for with this Utah Jazz lineup next year?
Size.
I mean, how freaking giant it's going to be.
No, it's 6'4" and above.
Yeah, and
Keontae 6'4", Ace Bailey 6'9",
6'9", yeah.
If let's say they win the lottery and they get AJ DeBonsa 6'8", 6'9", and then you're not even at your
haven't even talked about
front
Lowry
line yet, where you've got Lowry at 7 feet, you've got Jaren Jackson Jr. at 7 feet, and Walker Kessler is over 7 feet. You can roll out a lineup with 3 7-footers in your front court, along with your big guards. And your athletic wings.
And it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it is. But you look around the league. What else is it? What does everyone else have? Look at the Celtics.
Yep.
Look at the Thunder.
Who's the best player, arguably, in the whole league?
Look at the Nuggets.
A freak of a.
Look at the Timberwolves.
Yeah, the height, the advantage that these guys have. But you got to get that size. Not like these coaches don't want it. I'm just saying, like, when you see the size differential, that should be the thing that gets you to that number on your roster. You go, we're spending $20 million on this roster. $6 million of it better be on height, on big dudes, on some 4s and 5s that are absolute dogs in the middle, on top of the fact that they're bigger than everybody else in front of them. So, just a thought, just what I had in mind. All right, so Arizona gets to its first Final Four in 25 years. They ended up.
That's crazy, right?
I know. They grind, because we grew up in the Lute Olson days where it felt like they were there every year.
I know.
And this Arizona team feels, the opposite of Duke. Duke has had struggles along the entire tournament.
They almost lost in the first round.
Arizona got a tough game out of Utah State in the second half. Great. Purdue is keeping it tight. They're up. Purdue was up at the half. I'm like, good. Purdue. Somebody showed up to play Arizona. Let's see a game. And Arizona just grinds down on you.
48-26 in the second half.
They just grinded. They just absolutely
beat Purdue by 22 points in the second half.
Yeah, and they end up winning by 15.
Right.
Because they absolutely their style of play is so hard to keep up with, and it's relentless. And they're pressing always. And Illinois gets a win. That's a shock on a lot of people's brackets. It's just not a team you put there. You just don't think of Illinois as being that power, but they've been playing phenomenally the last couple of years, and now first Final Four in 21 years.
Who was their starting point guard on that team?
D. Will.
That's right.
Out of the Colony High School.
That's right.
Dallas, Texas. So they beat Iowa by double digits, and that Iowa team, congrats, great year, but that's not a Final Four team.
Hey, to get to the Elite Eight though. That's phenomenal.
Great.
That's awesome.
Tennessee gets blown out by 33 against Michigan, and it could have been 50.
Tennessee benefited from the injury to Joshua Jefferson in Iowa State.
Barnes, great coach.
Yep.
I like Tennessee from they as a 6 seed going to the Elite Eight, but man, it is obvious that the teams that are there right now, Arizona is an absolute juggernaut. Illinois is really dang good. We'll see how long that'll last. Michigan might be better than Arizona, and they're playing each other in that semifinal.
It's possible. Landenborg is special.
Axel Landenborg, yeah. Sounds like one of the new Utah Mammoth.
Yeah, he does sound like a hockey player. From Sweden.
So
there is guess who's not at the Final Four?
Florida. Who else?
The SEC.
Oh, not one this year, huh?
Not one. Not one
shame.
SEC
it's a
team.
shame.
I would really feel bad for them.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah, so they end up.
I thought it just meant more.
I'm trying to think. Arizona's a 1 seed. Michigan's a 1 seed.
Correct.
Illinois is a 3.
Yes.
And
UConn the 2.
UConn is a 2 seed. So you're still pretty chalky, but you had that 3 and 2 on the other side of the bracket that people did not see going through. And look, Duke had it. Duke had it in their back pocket. Do you look at the way that John Shire coached that last moment, and those kids were undercoached in that moment? Obviously, the meltdown and the turnover that happened when the ball gets thrown up from the logo after UConn should have just been dead and buried. Do you look at John Shire and go, you blew that, and you did it last year too? This guy doesn't have what it takes to get to the next level?
He's been to that level.
I know.
So it's hard to say he doesn't have what it takes, and he has phenomenal talent. That helps too. I think it is fair to criticize a bit because this is not once. This is 3 straight years that Duke's had this problem. Remember 2 years ago, they were playing NC State for a spot in the Final Four. NC State,
Yeah.
a team they kicked their trash in the ACC. That NC State team made the Final Four because they upset Duke. Duke couldn't hold on to that lead against NC State. Last year, what happened last year? You're up by how much against Houston?
It was, well, I think they were up by as many as 13 in the second half. But
they were up like 6 and with a minute left, weren't they?
So Houston went on a 9-0 run in 71 seconds.
You had Cooper Flagg and the
Con
Rookie of the
Knippel.
Year, Con Knippel, and you couldn't score against Houston?
9-0. 9-0.
Okay,
Yep.
So the talent is there. The players are there. You're in the moment. You've built the lead. There are certain things strategically that have to happen in those moments, and they weren't executed properly.
Pretty wild.
The way that Duke handled the press at the end of that game yesterday, the way that they allowed UConn to get back into it.
Well,
Look, it's fair.
It was a low IQ basketball play because
There's 10 seconds
you
left
just
on the
had
clock.
to hold on to the ball.
You didn't have to get it past midcourt.
You also didn't have to just get it out of your hands immediately because you felt like you didn't want them to foul you. You allow them to foul you.
Yes.
Like, you're already up
You
2.
didn't need to panic.
So
And the message in the timeout should have been, look, was there 10.6 on the clock? Either way, it was 10 seconds left on the clock. You do not have to get it past the midcourt line. Take your time, take a breath, let them foul you. Hold on to the ball for dear life. Go to the free throw line, let's win this game. And for that to happen and Duke to act like the ball was a hot potato,
guys.
that's just pure panic.
those poor guys.
And they had shots of John Shire on the sideline, and I'm sorry, I saw a look of deer in the headlights a little bit. So yeah, I think there's criticism due for the common denominator in the last 3 times that Duke has been in these situations. John Shire has to get better on in-game situations. Great coach, great recruiter. He's carrying on the legacy. He's doing the very difficult task of being the guy that follows the guy. And Duke has not fallen off at all. Look, it's hard to win at this level. It's hard to go to a Final Four. It's hard to go to a national championship game. But when you have it in your grasp and you lose it because of bad situational basketball, then you stare right at the head coach. That's on the coaching staff to have their players understanding and ready for what the moment is. And Duke wasn't yesterday, and they paid a price. And UConn was mentally tough. As much as they can't stand their head coach, they were ready. And that kid was onions, man. That kid was onions. That shot was from the logo. That kid is a freshman. He is Mr. Basketball in Indiana. I get he's good, but he is a freshman in the Elite Eight. And the kid had onions. He was ready to go. Nothing but net. That was one of the great shots we've ever seen in NCAA tournament history with everything on the line.
I did love the Bill Rafferty onions
It was good.
Reference right there because I love that they show the camera and they flip it around and they see Rafferty. You've got
Grant Hill.
Ian Eagle is on the call and then Grant Hill in the middle. Obviously, Grant Hill.
He has some experience in this moment, and he's a Duke guy.
Okay. Now, to his credit, he was just like everybody else who was just a basketball watcher at that
Yes.
moment and was just like, that is phenomenal.
Yep.
And they all have their hands out on each other, and they're like, but Rafferty is mouth agape. Like, I mean, that guy has seen everything.
Yeah, and
until yesterday,
and
then he actually did.
Reaction from,
and he's just
special.
like, impossible, right? And to see his reaction was just, that was awesome. So
that's why we watch. We hope for these moments.
Well, my heavens!
And I was terrified. I mean, I told you last week. We got on the show and I was like, after the round of 32, I'm like, guys, March Madness is dying.
I will say
March Madness is dying because there's no mid majors that can compete with the high majors because the gap is so big because of NIL. And the teams that are good are so much better than everybody else. And we're having blowout after blowout after blowout. And everything that was special about the NCAA tournament feels like it's gone. And for yesterday, for that to happen, brought it back a bit. I think there's still some of that because we've never had more blowouts. We've never had more chalk. But, man, that shot was awesome.
Yeah, I don't think you can make – what's interesting is this article that we saw today about – the title of it is – Thrilling NCAA tournament has proved college basketball isn't broken.
No.
In some ways, it's only getting better. And I thought, what? But you can't go off of like two singular moments because the rest of the games have been kind of dogs. Now, here's the other kind of weird dichotomy of all this. Rick Pitino, who has seen it all, said about this tournament and about basketball right now in the NCAA is, quote, the best I've ever witnessed.
I don't disagree.
That's what I'm saying. You have
the premise that the quality of play is better. Why? Because you're paying pros.
Yes.
You're literally paying players to play. They are professional basketball players.
Kids are better than they've ever been.
There are kids from Europe, and there's actually, it's not many, but there's kids that played in the G League that are in college basketball right now. So, yes, the talent is higher. Players that would otherwise be in the NBA or in Europe right now stuck around because of NIL money. Yes, Coach Pitino is correct. The quality of play is better. But the gap between the haves and the have-nots has never been bigger.
I mean, Arizona and Michigan on the other side of the bracket won their games by a total of 46 points. That's not thrilling basketball. And then the other game on the other side was a 12-point loss. And so they were all double digits except for that one. We've never had more double-digit losses. We've never had more 20-point blowouts. We've never had more 30-point blowouts. So you can't say it's quote unquote thrilling because 20 and 30-point losses are not.
That's not what we're tuning in for.
They're not fun. They're not fun to watch. You immediately. And by the way, it's so hard to listen to these guys calling the game, and there's 2 minutes and 41 seconds because Michigan had a 30-point lead for the last. It felt like 2 hours. Right? They had a 30-point lead with about 13 minutes left, and it stayed that way the entire rest of the game. So it was 13 minutes of these announcers kind of going through quietly, doing the baseball announcer thing where they're like, "Oh, look how much fun he's having in the crowd." Like it was bad TV, and it wasn't entertaining. It certainly wasn't thrilling. That moment with Mullins was absolutely thrilling, great, but I think we've had few of them. And you can have the best basketball we've ever witnessed and also still not be very competitive. Okay? Guess what? The women's game, they're better than they've ever been. Yep. And they're blowing each other out worse than we've ever seen even. And that doesn't mean it's thrilling. It's not thrilling if you're blowing everybody out. But the talent is its highest. I get it. The NBA is getting the most talent that they are ever getting as a full class of draft classes every year. Just keep getting deeper and deeper.
Two straight incredible draft classes.
Yes, and I would imagine like we're better at finding those good players. We're better at making those guys go from 4 to 5 stars. These guys are ready. These guys are NBA ready their first year of college in some cases. AJ DeBonsa, right?
Absolutely.
So there's arguments there, but don't call it a thrilling NCAA tournament. There's one moment yesterday, and the rest of these games have been kind of disappointing. Also, I'm losing my bracket, so that's probably another way that I don't feel very good about things. Losing to my 5-year-old. No problem. Okay. We're going to take a break. Hey, we have a jam-packed show here for you. Utah State has a new basketball coach. We'll talk about that next coming up. And also at the 4 o'clock, top of the 4 o'clock hour, the newest Utah Mammoth, Mackenzie Weegar, the defenseman, going to join us on the program, top of 4 o'clock. Boy, they needed a win in L.A., and did they get it? Some guys showing up in big ways. You better be ready. This team is going to lose games by a lot, or they're going to win games by a lot. That's at least been the case the last couple of weeks. And they got the big win. Thank heavens that Nashville's starting to lose some games in a row. That's really helped the cause as well. But Mackenzie Weegar, we're going to ask him about his short time he's been with the Mammoth and what the vibe on the team is like. And, when you make that decision to waive your no-trade clause and say, I'm coming to Utah, we want to get down to the bottom of what Mackenzie Weegar is thinking about this team and about this roster and getting them to the playoffs. We'll come back. More to go. 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone. We appreciate you joining us on the program. Coming up in about 30 minutes, we're going to hear from Mackenzie Weegar, one of those dudes on the blue line for this Utah Mammoth team that is pushing toward that wild card one playoff spot. They got a huge win yesterday in LA. Was it yesterday?
Saturday.
It was Saturday. Huge win on Saturday, 6-2, and you got a couple goals from Kirry. Couple goals from Kirry. You got a couple goals from
Cools.
But that team just looked dialed up. You know what it was? They just pushed the entire game. The energy was
There was not a disaster in the second period. That was progress.
yes. And when they went from 3-1 to that 4-1 goal that Kerfoot put in make it 4-1,
goal.
and then it really busted it wide open. Yeah. They needed that second period, and they got the big win. And plus, it's against LA. There's a team who's trying to run them down in that wild card race.
If they lose that game, the Kings are within 2 points.
And on top of it, you have the Predators, who are the Preds have lost 3 in a row.
It's
a shame.
We're like, oh, here come the Preds. Look at their schedule.
But it's tough because if the Mammoth would have won one of those games over here at home,
I know.
Then it would have been.
They've had plenty of missed opportunities.
Yeah.
There's still another level for this team to get at. They talk about maturity all the time. We can even ask Mackenzie Weegar about it. There's another level for this team to get to when it comes to consistency that they're not quite there yet. But, man, when they're good, they are elite. Really good.
So that was big. They're at 82 points now in the standings, and that puts them clear 5 points of the Preds who are behind them in that wild card 2 spot. All right, JJ, we've got some news out of Logan. Utah State getting their agreement all tied up for Ben Jacobson is going to be the new head coach of Utah State. Were you surprised that it was a guy that, in my mind, I feel like we haven't heard about Ben Jacobson in a few years here?
Well, because most would say, well, Northern Iowa and Utah State are kind of at the same mid-major level. I don't think that's the case anymore, but based on history, you would look at it that way.
Well, he put them in that. He put Northern Iowa on that map.
100%.
Sure. They got
we all remember
tournaments in a row.
Farouk Manesh, we remember their Sweet 16 appearance. They've been to the tournament 5 times. You've seen Ben Jacobson before because he's been around for 25 years. He was at that school forever at Northern Iowa. He has 397 career wins. He won 9 regular season or tournament championships, 5 NCAA tournament appearances, and several near misses when it came to the tournament. 1 Sweet 16 appearance. He's coached some good players there. What he has done at Northern Iowa is a miracle when you learn more about Northern Iowa. That place sucks. It does.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, you learn about their facilities. Apparently, they practice in an old rec gym.
The Hoosiers guys come in and measure the rims every morning.
Like there's probably dead spots on the floor. Like these, you're trying to play big time basketball, and I'm sure he was very loyal to that place. He's from North Dakota, so that area of the country is home to him. And it's crazy that this was the job that pulled him away from that. And he's going to have a press conference in the morning, and I will be very curious to learn why Utah State. This man could have left and gone to a lot of places, and he never did, and suddenly this is the job he wants. Why? Why Utah State? Now, from the other perspective, Utah State, this is a great hire. Tim Lacombe, he's posted it on social media today. Home run hire. Everybody I've seen and talked to that knows ball and is tied to the college game, home run hire. Great hire by Utah State.
If he's able to do that at Northern Iowa.
Ben Jacobson is well-respected all over the country.
I can't remember who said this quote, but they said pretty distinctively that Northern Iowa sucks. I can't recall who that person was. But
don't quote me on that.
If you can get that guy away from Northern Iowa, and let me tell you about a place that does not suck.
Right.
I mean, people get to Cache Valley and they go, what on earth were they hiding up here?
It's beautiful. The school's awesome. The students support it.
The basketball program is at a status that you wish you could get to at a non-Power 4 school and
you have tradition.
Power 5 school.
The place is packed. You've proven now that you can produce pro basketball players there. You've got 2 in the NBA right now, and there's guys internationally that are balling as well. Like, this program is rolling, and all you got to come in and do is keep it rolling. That's a pretty good opportunity. And for Ben Jacobson, it's really that simple. Come in here, keep it rolling, and make it even better if you want to.
I know this has been a springboard job market for obviously the last 4 coaches who've come through.
And it's worked out for Utah State. But how many more times is this going to work out?
And I think that's the idea, right? Is that making that hire for a guy who was already at a program for 20 years there, that he would want to do 15 years here. Is that what the vibe is? Is that
would be
they're like,
he's
look,
55 years old.
We want that. We want that
he's
experience.
In his coaching prime.
We want the guy with the background that gets smaller teams to the tournament, which is what you want.
We've had a great job attracting these low mid-major coaches from Youngstown State and Montana State and UMBC and South Dakota. Those are the places where Utah State got their coaches. You're going now to a higher level to get your coach, and with the resources to potentially keep him there. And maybe or maybe not. If you know what? If Ben Jacobson ends up leaving Utah State in 2 or 3 years, it's because the Aggies took it to another level. And
you can't avoid it. Yeah,
but you're not bringing in somebody that's like, I hope so, maybe. I mean, Danny Sprinkle won at Montana State, but that wasn't I hope so, maybe hire, but it was a home run. Every coach they've hired in the last 4 times was I don't know, maybe. Like, Craig Smith had never been to the NCAA tournament in South Dakota.
Yep.
It's not like they went on some kind of, like, they won a first-round game. Ben Jacobson's been to a Sweet 16. This is a proven, established coach with a long history and a deep resume, 397 career wins. This is not somebody we think or might be good. This is a well-respected coach around the country. He's going to come here and keep it rolling. And I think you're exactly right. You nailed it. That this is Utah State saying, and Cam Walker, who was on Scotty G and Friends today, you can go back and listen to him talking. This is a job. This is a hire where the athletic director is saying, we can go out and get a guy at a higher level, and we can get him to stay. And we have these financial resources, this windfall from Calhoun's departure. Guess what Ben Jacobson's buyout number is?
South of $1 million?
Very south.
$15 and a trip to Maverick.
Less.
Zero? Was it zero?
Zero. No dollars.
I love
$0.
Did they put that in the contract? And your buyout is? Oh, zero. Sorry. It could have been.
It's costing Utah State
zero.
Nothing.
So in that instance, you're the brand new athletic director for Utah State. You've won the weekend.
Yes, you have.
Good for you.
And you probably won the press conference because Ben Jacobs is going to come here tomorrow morning and he's going to wow all of you. Aggie Nation, prepare. This dude is the real deal. And you're going to love him. And he wins, and you didn't have to spend a cent on a buyout, and you get all that buyout money from Calhoun going to Cincinnati that you get to put into resources to keep this roster together or to enhance it as well. Maybe Carson Templin doesn't want to leave anymore. Maybe the mayor stays in Cache Valley. Maybe they can go out and get some complimentary pieces.
I do love because okay.
Or go out and get the dude.
Here's what I'm always saying about like why that job in particular is just phenomenal. But you also look at other parts of the country. Look at what LSU just did. Okay, they snuck in a terrible character person.
Yeah.
They've showed in the past they don't care. They'll hire Brian Kelly. They'll hire Will Wade.
Their football coach and their basketball coach have issues.
And on top of it,
ethical questions at the least.
So everybody goes through. Everybody became internet sleuths over the weekend, and Will Wade apparently had already buttoned up a house like at the beginning of February. He had already had his listed in North Carolina well before that, and blah blah blah. Now, and then he throws the quote out of, "Well, I stopped worrying about my perception years ago." You think? Like
he's not a good guy.
He's like, I have decided that I don't care what people think. I will cheat, and it doesn't matter to me. He got kicked out of that school for cheating, and then he came back. And his whole press conference was, well, we're going to make history one way or the other. We're either going to go to win a national championship or I'm going to be fired for the second time from a school. No, it's never happened. Let's make history together.
That's weird.
Anyway, I'm saying,
imagine that.
Imagine that. And then just look up at Logan and go, thank heavens that they have hiring practice standards up there. And they haven't missed in so long. And it's been different athletic directors. It's been associate athletic directors. It's
school
been
presidents.
School presidents. So many of those things coming along the way. I don't think that they just got lucky. I just think that place is built for people to be able to come in and play their best basketball. And so many kids do. And I bet you're going to see the same thing with Jacobson as well. So, pretty cool.
They just went out and got a guy that shows you that they are a top 30 job in the country. Calhoun was right. Ben Jacobson wouldn't have left the place he's been at 25 years for nothing. Utah State is a top 30 job in the country now. And let's hope that means that somebody's going to stay there for a while.
20 years and almost 400 wins. So you're at a clip of almost 20 wins every year for the last 20 years.
Yeah,
Not
consistently
bad.
winning.
Not bad. Okay, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We have more. When we return, we've got our Weekend Warriors, people who won the weekend here for us. We've got some sound for you as well. Stay right here with us. 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial!
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Stevie Nicks, of course, proud Utah's own. Hey, she was at Judge High School like for one and a half seconds, right?
By accident.
I think, yeah. Or is that a myth? I always heard it.
No, it's true.
Because, like, you know, you have your friend who goes, "Oh no, yeah, my cousin, they eat dinner at Roseanne's house all the time in Sugar House."
She attended Wasatch Junior High and briefly Judge.
Hey, look at that! Oh, Judge
during the early 60s.
Yeah. But
her family lived here from 1961
was
to
it Roseanne who was
3
fake?
Years. No, Roseanne
also was a Utah.
Yeah.
Here for 4.5 seconds. We'll take it. I don't know. These days, I don't know if you want Roseanne. You can take Stevie Nicks all day, but no, Roseanne. I'll take.
She went to East High School.
That's what it was. Yeah. Boy, everybody right in that area, though. East, Judge.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, it's a city. People live in a city.
Well, I mean, they live like right next to each other, is what I'm saying. Right
Did
there.
you know that Roseanne was hit by a car at age 16?
In Salt Lake?
Yes.
Those darn people around Liberty Park.
She had a traumatic brain injury. She spent 8 months in the hospital.
I've learned some things today
There you go.
didn't necessarily think I would learn. Okay? So you're welcome, everybody. Hey, we got lots going on in the program. Mackenzie Weger's going to join us top of the hour, and defenseman for the Utah Mammoth. But it is our Weekend Warriors, people who won the weekend here for us, and we've got a whole chunk of sound to get through with a bunch of these because our producer, Alex Napolis, does a phenomenal job. Alex Kerfoot. Kerfy. Great name, by the way. Wouldn't you agree, Napolis? Right? Couple few Alexes just having having a great weekend. So Kerfy has himself a night, gets 2 goals, including that decisive 4th goal of the game was huge. Here's what it sounded like.
Kerfoot drags, holding up traffic. Kerfoot shoots and they score!
Kerfoot's got a pair tonight, and it's 4-1. Right after the PK, Alexander Kerfoot takes it all the way down and finds his second goal of the night.
That's killer. They have been giving up a lot of power play goals. They kill the penalty, they go right down and score, and that was a tremendous goal by Kerfoot. Lots of walk-offs this weekend. Gosh darn it. In baseball. That's what we like about it. How about this one? This was for the Marlins. This was Owen Cassie with his own walk-off.
The Marlins just seem to have a little bit more life. 1-0 pitch. Casey launches high in the air at the right. It is gone! You can't make this up! And for the first time since 2009, the Marlins start a year 3-0. A walk-off two-run shot for Owen Casey.
Owen Casey gets the walk-off. Ernie Clement with the Blue Jays had one of his own.
Full count now. And Medina unloads. And Clement drives it. Left center. Down for a base hit. Lucas gets the wave. He's going to come in to score. And tonight, it's Ernie Clement who's the hero. Back-to-back walk-off wins for the Blue Jays, who take it 8-7 in Game 2 of the year.
You can't steal the barge horn from the hockey club.
I think they did.
They should go to the Maple Leafs and be like, you have an extra one of those? When we hit a home run, we want it to sound like a hockey game because that's where the real fans are. Then another one from J.J. Weatherholt for the Cardinals.
The pitch to Weatherholt is grounded to the right side, base hit! The Cardinals tie it! Here comes Jordan Walker! The play at the plate! Not in time! The Cardinals walk it off with rookie J.J. Weatherholt coming through in the bottom of the 10th inning. The Cardinals win it by a score of 6-5. How about that ending?
It was good. We love the walk-offs. Baseball needs that kind of excitement. But, of course, the biggest play of the weekend, it sounded like this, and it apparently made the entire tournament very, very exciting.
72-70, Duke by 2. Sarr to key the inbound now. Full court pressure from UConn. Sarr gets it into Cam Boozer. Boozer back to Sarr. Now ahead to Caden Boozer, and UConn got a steal. Caravan for Mullins. Long three. He got it. Oh, he got it. He hit it. He hit the long three-pointer from the logo with 0.3 of a second left to go. I don't believe it. UConn has taken the lead.
The thing that makes basketball calls on the radio like that or just over the air, I'm assuming that was our Westwood One coverage right there. And pay the man extra who puts a mic right next to the net. Listen to the beginning again. I listen for the net because it's phenomenal and it adds so much to it.
72-70, Duke by 2. Sarr to key the inbound now. Full court pressure from UConn. Sarr gets it into Cam Boozer. Boozer back to Sarr. Now ahead to Caden Boozer, and UConn got a steal. Caravan for Mullins. Long three. He got it. Oh,
there's just that little subtle net. That nylon. That flick of the nylon just does the whole thing.
That's cool.
And you hear it just go, and luckily you didn't have Danny Hurley's mom mic'd up in the stands. You almost had to blur out her mouth.
It's the mouth of a sailor up there.
I don't wonder anymore where he gets it. That lady gets in the face of referees.
Oh, boy.
So it was an awesome weekend across the board there for the walk-offs. And you know, when they mean a lot more, you know, I mean, that's a regional final. You get the trophy. You're on to the Final Four. The Final Four is just a crazy – I saw Izzo over the weekend at his press conference, and he just goes, you know, and we fell short of our goal. I want to play on that Sunday. I think I want to get back. I'll play on another Sunday again. And I thought, yeah, these coaches, they have it in them. It's just like, get me to that final, regional final. Get me that weekend where I can play on that Saturday night or that Sunday for a chance to go to the, you know, in Indianapolis in this case. Phenomenal stuff. All right, we'll take a break. Win big this Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone. Guess what you got? You're going to get tickets to see Weezer coming up at Maverick Center coming up September 15th. It's Weezer. You might see JJ and I there. My heavens. You might see our producer Alex Napolis there.
Go.
For heaven's sake. LiveNation.com is where you can get tickets right now, or you can listen all day on Wednesday, and we'll be giving those tickets away as well. All right, we'll come back. More to go. Mackenzie Weegar joins us next. 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
You deserve to feel better today. At Harper Clinic, patients report sleeping deeper, thinking clearer, and feeling stronger because mental health care is more than emotions. It's about your whole body. Work to lower your blood pressure, even boost your immune system. Get help to manage stress, focus, and reconnect. If you're facing anxiety, depression, or just feeling stuck, call Harper Clinic, 801-306-2345, 801-306-2345 to start feeling better.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.